My name is Shilpi Sharma, currently pursuing Masters at IIT Guwahati. This podcast discussion is separate from my research here at IIT Guwahati. I'm trying to provide you information at zero cost. Here I invite people from different domains to share their expertise and knowledge. Be smart what you are consuming because you are responsible for your well-being, not me. So let's start today's podcast. I hope it will be beneficial for you all, including me. Hi everyone. Today my guest is Amit Sriam. He is a mechanical engineer and graduated from IIT Madras. He quit his job and ever since have been spending time with children, working with and learning from them. One of the most profound things he has learned from them is that we human beings need to learn to love again. It will change and heal the world. Before we start, I would like to set the context for our conversation today by talking about social impact work being done by Amit, the visionary behind A Little Grove and Moonlit Hamlets. And that's really what we are talking about today. And now my discussion with Amit Sriam. Welcome to DWHR, Discussion with Human Resource Podcast, Amit. Thank you for giving your time for this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Yes. So we can start off. Let's start by exploring your childhood. Where were you born, and what was your hometown like, and where did you attend your school?
Oh, I was born in 1983. I was born in Meerut. It's in UP, and I spent my early childhood in a small township near Lucknow. And so my father is basically an engineer, and he worked for a telephone company. And so it was a small township near Lucknow. And then my father wanted better education for me and my brother, so we moved to Delhi. So when I was in class third, we moved to Noida. And there I started attending Delhi Public School, which I attended till my class 12. And
Okay.
yeah, and then after, yeah, so that was briefly about my childhood, and then went on to do my engineering.
Okay. So what is the age gap between you and your brother?
4 years. Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So coming to the next question, did you enjoy your schooling?
I did enjoy my schooling. Um, I look forward to going to school because because I get to meet my friends. I mean, I now that I look back, I enjoyed my schooling for two reasons. One, because I got to meet my friends and spend time with them and come back, and because for a lot of time, schooling did not put any stress on me
Okay.
because I was particularly good in science and maths. It came very easy to me. So I had this habit of completing my syllabus in summer vacation. And then, so school was more like a retreat place where you go and spend time with friends. And then,
Okay, so I mean, you were very much studious. You were sounding like a studious.
oh,
I mean, since your childhood.
I know. No, not really sincere, but I think I found my way because, like I said, because maths and science came very easy to me. And from sixth or seventh, I realized that, it's very good. I mean, if I can just go through the topics myself and finish off my syllabus in summer vacation, then rest of the year I can be at
Okay,
peace.
enjoy the, yeah, I
Enjoy,
can
do
understand.
things, read what I want to read, and
Okay,
not be stressed about.
yeah. So, how was your extracurricular activities? Were you part of any other activities like sports and any other arts competition? I mean, back then.
I would do things. I would not participate in competition so much. I did not like. I just remember that I did not participate in competitions much, except
Okay.
for Olympiads here and there where my teachers used to send me. But I loved doing art. I loved. I got into music much later in my life when I was in college. But I loved singing. I still
Okay.
do. I would sing all the time in bathroom. And I loved going to bookshops to get books. My mother and I would go very often, and there only I remember I had, when I was in seventh or eighth, I had read book about Ravindranath Tagore, which
Mhm.
was very inspiring.
Hmm.
which came
Okay,
back much
since
later to me after I left my college.
okay. Okay. Additionally, could you share a bit about your mother? What does she do?
My mother is, I think, is a big reason why I am able to do what I am doing today. She
Okay.
is the one who used to take me to bookshops and libraries very often. And she would sit in a corner after she would take me. She would never, come and tell me, why don't you read this book, that book? And I remember class seventh or eighth, I was quite attracted towards the section of biographies and autobiographies, and I would read so many of them by so many people. And later, when I was in ninth and tenth, got attracted a lot towards spirituality. So I would collect a lot of books on people who try to find truth in life. I read a lot. I read a book on Buddha, Ramana Maharishi, I remember, and then I got hold of this book, Autobiography of a Yogi, which I read many times. So my grandparents would come and tell me what kind of books is he reading. These are not the books that he's supposed to read. But I remember my mother would never tell anything. I mean, she would just let me, you read whatever you want to read. You do explore life the way you want to. She is a graduate herself, and she has done masters in English and Hindi literature.
Oh, wow.
And then she was at home taking care of us. In between, she got trained in as a beautician and started beauty parlor. She also went and did a course on fashion designing and things. So she kept exploring many different things in between as we were growing.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. So, tell us about what was your, the experience like, especially considering your graduation from IIT Madras.
Yeah. See, one thing, I mean, before I start is I did not go to IIT because I wanted to do engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was good in science and maths, and so it came very easy to me. And what I used to talk to my parents about is one that I want to become a monk. I want to find out truth about life. I want to find out about answers to these age-old questions. And the other thing which I think has troubled me since the very beginning is the inequality, the whole inequality that is there in the society. Why is somebody getting paid so much? Why is someone having so many cars? And why was so? Those are some of the notes that I can read when I was a kid. I had written in my diary. Why is someone not having even enough to eat, while on the other hand, someone having too much? So I used to talk to my parents about it, and they said that why don't you grow up and become an IS officer? You will be able to do so much. And so I decided I'll become an IS officer when I grow up, and that's how I went to do engineering. That you need to get a degree, so go and do engineering, because it's not very easy, to become an IS officer. So if you don't become, then at least you have a backup. So that's how I went to do engineering. Once I got into IIT for a little bit, not a little bit, actually, quite some time, for 3 years, um, it had gotten into my head. I had forgotten what I really wanted to do and what touched me and what made me happy and my questions. Now I wanted to show everyone that I am from IIT. I used to relish when in trains journey somebody would ask me. I would try to bring the person to the point where the person would ask me, where have you studied from? So
Okay.
for a few years went like that. In those few years, I also realized that I don't want to become an IS officer. I don't think I would actually, I'm cut for that. Even if I clear it, one, I don't want to write any more exams. I was kind of tired. And even if I clear it, I kind of knew that I'll quit it after some time. So I was exploring what else to do. So my later part of time in IIT, I was exploring entrepreneurship, particularly social entrepreneurship. That got my attention, that you start something, you create something new, but you do it in such a way that you make this world a better place to live in for a few.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's primarily what I did during my.
Okay. So you got some exposure while doing your engineering, I mean, regarding this social entrepreneurship, right?
A lot, actually. I focused a lot of my time on social entrepreneurship and very little on engineering.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, do they have such kind of program going inside the campus where, students can come and they can
Yes.
learn about
Oh, yes,
entrepreneurship?
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
We had an entrepreneurship cell. In fact, a lot of colleges have. Back then, we revived the entrepreneurship cell. And then social entrepreneurship was something that there was one student from IIT Madras only. He had gone to study in Stanford and was coming back as a professor. And he and me together, we thought of starting this social entrepreneurship thing within the college. And
Okay.
now I think it's flourishing. It's flourishing in many colleges.
Yeah, correct. So, transitioning to your career shift, after a year of joining your job, if I'm not wrong, you decided to start initiative like a Little Group and Moonlit Hamlets. So, what prompted this decision? Was that, this you can say, I mean, the sequence impact of your social entrepreneurship journey, or it was just a new thing came across your mind?
Oh, no, I think after. So then in IIT placements happened. I was very tensed. Now that I look back at, I remember those 4 days companies were coming and recruiting and we are going and giving interviews, and it's almost like sitting with every company we go and we tell them that we are made for you. It has been my dream company. It's the company that I want to work with. So I was also going through the same process, and then this IFC, International Finance Corporation, it's an arm of World Bank, private equity arm of World Bank, that had also come for placement, and I got placed there. So as an investment analyst, had I got uh, had that not been the job but some other company, maybe I would have thought about. But because it was World Bank particularly, I thought it's a nice opportunity for me to learn and go and explore. And it's in a way connected to social entrepreneurship also, because maybe World Bank is trying to do, IFC particularly is not a regular private equity. It is trying to fund companies that are not getting regular private equity, and some companies that are trying to do good for the environment or for the society. And so I thought it will
Yeah.
be a nice opportunity for me to go and learn and work with them. So I did, and I think a couple of months later, I felt very uncomfortable. I kind of realized that I don't want to be doing that. I would rather try and do something else. I did not find what I was looking for at, in IFC. It seemed very different, and because of multiple reasons, I decided to quit after about a year. One
Okay.
of the reason was that I kind of knew that if I quit, the company is not going to suffer. There are 100 in line to take up the job.
Yeah.
So then let
Yeah.
me quit. I didn't see myself as growing into the growing, getting manager and then director position and all. I thought I'll quit and try to do something different. Yeah.
So, I mean, the time period you have spent there, what kind of work you were doing at that time, being a
So
part of this company?
I was working as an analyst, investment analyst. So for me, it was all Excel sheets, basically analyzing and making financial models and seeing whether this company is worth investing in. There were one or two interesting companies that came and the projects were interesting. But a lot of companies were very big companies that were cash rich anyways. And I didn't see any point of, I didn't see why is it needed for IFC to fund those companies, Tata Motors and Volkswagen and Daimler and stuff were things like that with the client. So I thought, no, I mean, this is not something that I want to be doing for next few years.
Yeah, correct. I wanted to shift my question to this initiative which you are running right now. So, can you explain the reasoning behind the names you have chosen, like A Little Grove and Moonlit Hamlets, for your initiative?
Oh, see, Moonlit Hamlet is a very recent initiative. I mean, it kind of started, but it is yet to start.
Okay.
A Little Grove is an old space. It's been there for more than a decade now. A Little Grove, one important word in A Little Grove is little. I wanted it to be small,
Okay.
something that is manageable, something that is there is a I think the a lot partly philosophically. It also comes from this book written by E.F. Schumacher, Small is Beautiful.
Yes.
So little comes from there, and grove comes from a story of Buddha when Buddha and his followers would travel, and it would be very sunny, and they would get tired, and this, so they would go and take shelter in groves. Groves are these
Mhm.
small little forests in middle of the city,
Yeah,
and I felt this space, the community learning space for children that we are creating, is like a grove. It is where children, adults who have become little tired, who are stressed, they're coming and they're getting relaxed. They're finding their peace and happiness there, and finding that curiosity and spark again, which they had when they were little.
exactly. So, in our conversation, you were telling me that back in 2009, you wanted to start a school, but instead you ended up traveling and volunteering for more than 2 years. Afterwards, you joined an alternative space and began a little grow. So, when did you first discover your inclination towards social impact work? I mean, though you have mentioned during your college, you were involved in some social entrepreneurship project, but I really wanted to know your first inclination towards to start a school especially for the children.
I mean, so when I quit, I was thinking, what is it that I really want to do? I always wanted to live a very simple life. Like I said, I wanted to become a monk, live a very simple life. But then in college, I went into a relationship, so that monk thing went out of question. So I was thinking, what?
Okay.
Yes. So what is it that I would love to do? And the answer came so, it was like crystal clear. I had no doubt that I want to be with children. I want to work with children. Even if I would have become a monk or something, then also I think I would have started something for children only. I,
Okay.
I loved spending time with children. In college, also, I spent a lot of time. I would go and volunteer at different places. And even when I was in World Bank, that time also, I remember whenever these parties used to happen and gatherings, so I would be the one who would be taking care of all the children and doing stuff with them. So it was kind of that I want to be with children. And how can I be with children? So one of the way to
Yeah.
be with children is to start a school. I mean, that's the initial thought that, oh, then I have to start a school. But then somebody, this very nice person, Mr. Venkat, he had started Give India Foundation. So I happened to meet him, and he asked me, what kind of school do you want to start? And to me, that it was like, what do you mean, what kind of school? I mean, schools are all the same. I
Yeah.
mean, they're here, there, but school is a school. Class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And
Yeah.
CBSE or ICSE, a school is a school. So that's a very good question. What kind of school do I want to start? What do I really want to start for children? And I thought, let me travel. Let me see what are people doing. Instead of just getting into it, let me go and explore. And then from that social entrepreneurship mindset, I thought I will travel for, I made a timeline for myself, travel for 2 months, look at the best practices, and then get into starting something. So I started with that. But then after 2 months, I started meeting so many interesting people in the remote part of the country. And fabulous work they were doing. And it's not there on internet. Nobody knows about them, but so much to learn from them. A person running a community learning space in a village in Gujarat. They make their own curriculum. Their curriculum include cleaning of the village, working with villagers, reviving the water system of the village. Their classrooms are on the trees. They have built tree house on their own. And so many interesting people working with children in so many interesting ways, which are so different from school, the regular schooling that we have hear of. So I kept visiting these people, learning from them, volunteering with them, and it just continued for 2 years, 2.5 years. One interesting space that I came across was Center for Learning in Hyderabad, and
Okay.
small space started by this lady called Gurveen Kaur in 1982, and she was running it so nicely. I mean, children from all financial backgrounds were coming. There were about 40 children of different age groups, and very beautiful place. Children were given freedom to participate in constructing their curriculum and timetable. It was not just a top bottom approach that adults were have created something, and now children are mere consumers of whatever we have created. But children were asked to participate. What is it that you want to do today? What is it that you want to do for next year? How are you liking your mathematics classes? Are you satisfied with the storytelling sessions that are happening? Would you want to start a theater group? And I really liked that. So I thought of joining that place also because that place was kind of closing down. She had become old, and because of the whole thing was also a little tiring, and so the place was closing down. So I joined it, and eventually the place closed down in 2014. And when it closed down, we had 9 children. Those 9 children did not want to go to a regular school because they loved what was happening at Center for Learning. And I also did not know what else to do. I thought, then we'll work together. We'll continue working. We'll find another place, and we'll not let this thing die. We'll revive it. We'll saw a little grove started. Children and their
So
parents.
while talking, you have mentioned a very interesting part. Like you were part of the traveling. You have visited Gujarat, and as you have mentioned, the Hyderabad. So, were there any other destination also you have covered during that time period?
Yeah, yeah, very. I spent a lot of time in Himachal.
Okay.
Like I said, I wanted to explore Buddhist teachings, so I thought might as well go and stay in a monastery first. So I spent a lot of time staying and volunteering in a monastery. I requested that I'll do whatever work is needed to be done. Can I stay here? Can I be part of the teachings? And I spent many months living there, almost like a monk, attending to a lot of different kind of teachings, mind training, and all that they have in the Buddhist monasteries, Tibetan Buddhist monasteries. Yeah, that was also very, very nice.
And
Learned
could
a
you
lot of
please
things.
tell us the routine they follow, or maybe curriculum you have mentioned, like they do all this thing in a very scheduled way? What was your experience?
I mean, they have their see. Some of their things have become a little, from what I understand. And once you stay there, you can't really understand things fully. So it's very difficult that my commentary on that would actually be accurate. But from what I saw, some things I felt have become ritualistic. But every so they would have their routine. They would get up in the morning. They would have their meditation sessions. They would have something called Tibetan debate. So they would that's part of their curriculum. So where they would actually debate to get to the bottom of the question that they are discussing. And they have a very unique style of debating. And, then again, a lot of time goes into prayer and um, silent time that they spend. And then there are also intermittently there are also teachings happening. So a lot of teachings were in Tibetan, but then there were also English translations and teachings happening in English, which others could take part. It starts very early morning and then also ends quite early.
So,
At,
is this a residential setup, or are they following traditional schooling
yes.
system?
So these are this is a normal monastery that I stayed in, where there were young adults who were. They also have PhD in Tibetan Buddhism. So there are people who are pursuing their research, taking up questions and studying those. And yeah, and so I didn't really. I mean, I did volunteer in a Tibetan school. The school is a regular school where
Okay.
they would have a part of it would be Buddhist teachings, but rest would be the regular CBSE curriculum that would they would be involved.
Okay, so
But the
this
monastery was
was integrated, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that I mean CBSE pattern also they were following and their own
Within the
ritual
school, yes,
way.
yeah.
Okay, right, nice. So, come to that philosophy and approach part as in terms of your initiative. So, a Little Grove emphasizes a democratic learning and living space. So, could you explain how this philosophy translates into that day-to-day operations and experience of these children involved?
It yeah it I mean, the premise is very simple premise, no? That the child is not a mere consumer of whatever we have created. A child is also participating. A 5-year-old, a 6-year-old child is also participating. And we have seen that. I mean, till in all our lives we continuously see that till the time A child is 3-year old, 4-year old. A child is kind of participating in whatever, how her day goes, right? I mean, you would ask, do you want to go to park today? What do you want to do now? Are you feeling sleepy? But then once the child is 4-year old or now 3-year old, she is put in a system where for 8 hours a day or more, she does not have a say in her timetable.
Okay.
More or less, no say. She basically has to go through whatever adults have decided for her. And to me, that was one place I thought in our center we would bring about a change. That here, child would have a say. This center would not be a center that is being run by Amit Anna or by a set of adults for children, but it is a space that together we are running. We will try to do that. It's not a very easy thing to do. Authority comes very easily, and we have a certain power as adults, and exercising that comes very, very easy. So, not a very easy thing to do, but we will try. We will try to run it together. What is it that we want to learn? We will try to find out together. Also, we would try to do it together. And uh, how does it translate is there are many ways of it could be there are we have explored many different ways it can translate into day-to-day running. One of the way it translates is, say, in the beginning of the year when we start in June, we all will sit together. So we have about 30 children now, and then there would be some parents who are interested in being part of it. So total, say, around 40 people. So all 40 of us will sit in circle, and we'll have this big board behind, and we would say, okay, you all have come prepared. So what is it that you would want to learn this year? What is
Okay.
it that you would want to explore this year? And we would write it down. So then there is this child who's 8-year old, Diksha, raises her hand and says, I would want to continue doing math. I like doing English last year, so I would want to continue doing that. I this year want to learn guitar. I also want to learn dance. And I learned embroidery from my aunt in summer vacation. I would like to teach some embroidery. So we write down that Diksha wants to learn these things and she wants to teach embroidery. And so it goes to all other children. And there might be a child who's new. So she is a little confused what is going on. And so she might or might not answer, and it's okay. We leave that. But the other children would answer, and then maybe she'll also put down something. And there would be somebody who's 14-year-old, and he will say, I'm preparing for my 10th. So they prepare for their 10th and 12th from open schooling. I'm preparing for my 10th. So I would want to focus on these subjects. I'm taking science, I'm taking maths, I'm taking English, I'm taking economics. So partly I would like to focus on that. But along with that, I would also like to explore a little bit of theater. But I would like to majorly kind of focus on my studies only. While there might be someone else who's taking 10th who says, I'll focus on my these particular subjects, but I also want to give ample amount of time to do theater and singing and learn guitar and flute. So we write down everything for every person. So I'll also put down my points that I have been teaching. I love teaching maths and science and woodwork and music. So I would continue doing that. But this year I also want to be part of a theater production. I would want to create a drama with whoever is interested. And I would also like to, so I'll also put down my points there. And from this, whatever we have put down, there emerges some kind of timetable for next few months. Everything what has been put down will not be, it's not possible for everything to translate and come into the timetable. But there would be something that would come, and we know that some of the things we have missed out. So after 3 months, we'll put it. Like, for example, for next 3 months in afternoon we might be at particular slot with some group we are doing book reading, but that gets over after 3 months, and then we know that some one of the group wanted to do contraptions after that. So let's put that now in the timetable. So we'll the timetable keeps changing over the year, and we keep working. We always write our timetable in pencil. We keep erasing, and then so that's one way it translates. And we don't have like children divided into classes. Children of mixed age groups will learn and work together depending on what it is. If it's craft, then you will find a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old also working together. If it is something more, something like science or mathematics, then we might have 6 and 7 and 8 year old working together, and 10, 12, 13-year old working together, learning and teaching each other.
Yeah. So, who are the children involved in your initiative? I mean, do they attend formal schooling, or is this a residential setup? How exactly they are learning it?
So, like I said, Little Grove started with me and those 9 children and their parents. These 9 children, the CFL used to run from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So, these are the children who decided to come and attend CFL. And it continues to run like that. We run it from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And these are the children who, so for them, this is their learning space. This is how they would want to learn. And so they come here. They don't go and attend school. So they'll come and learn here till the age of 13, 14, and then as private candidates go and take exams from open schooling, which central government
Okay.
provides. And it's not a residential place. It's a small bungalow that we run it from. We run it on very low cost. So it's a small bungalow that we run it from, and children with good amount of space nearby. But we don't have a playground and stuff like that.
So basically,
Children
these
come from nearby.
okay, so these children are from the near locality, and they on the daily basis they come and
Yes,
they
and then
spend
go
time
back.
and learn. Nice. So going forward, I would like to ask, as you have mentioned, like you have started with 9 children along with their parents. What is the status right now? Are parents also involved in these learning spaces, or either as a? I mean, I really wanted to understand. I mean, as a contributors or learners, how exactly they participate in this learning space.
So, see, parents' participation is a slow process. It slowly builds as relationship is built, as trust is built.
Yeah.
So, for us, that trust and relationship is very important. And I think that is one of the primary reasons why we have been running the space as pay as you wish. We do not have any fixed fees for the whatever parents decide, how much ever they want to, they can contribute to the place. So the relationship is slowly built, and then parents start coming in and giving their time. And so 2 examples that I can share is, one of the parent, she comes almost every day. She comes in the morning with her children, and she is fabulous with crafts. Like, she's just amazing. You should come and see her work. She does amazing embroidery, crochet, stitching, knitting, origami, and many other different things. And she loved doing it as a kid, but not so many people around her
Hmm.
appreciated what she was really doing. But in the center, she just come. She'll sit in one corner and do her craft work, and children flock around and they learn. So she contributes to the center in an amazing way. There's another parent who he works in an handloom sector. So he's been
Hmm.
working with weavers, trying to help because of this whole shift from handloom to power loom. A lot of weavers are losing their jobs, and so he
Yeah.
is working with an organization that is trying to help weavers. So he brings in, he will come with some of the people from his organization and organize. A year back, he organized something called tablet weaving, and we did it for 3 days together. Not 3 days, I think more than 3 days. Every So you could weave using some cards and technique. You can weave a small band from a thread, which you can use as a guitar strap or things like that. So children
Okay.
learned the basics of weaving from there. Now, like I was mentioning to you, we are building a loom, a hand loom in the. So he's the one who is spearheading that, helping us
Okay.
do that. So different parents
So
are encouraged to bring in different things to the space.
yeah. So you have mentioned like that pay forward term. I really wanted to understand what exactly it is.
Something that the place should be open to all. Anybody who wants to come should be able to access it. They should not say that, oh, we cannot afford this space. So we thought we'll keep it open. Parents decide. And so that is one, that parents decide in how much they can contribute. Let's run it on trust basis. And the
Yeah.
other aspect was also that in the world where everything is becoming so commercial and consumeristic.
And commodity.
Yes, like you are just buying and selling. So education or learning or relationship that a child has with the teacher, and this, let's not sell that. Let's try to run it a little differently. What you are contributing to the space, we are telling you our cost, and you decide how much you would want to contribute to the space. But that contribution is not that you are paying that money and you are buying education for your child, but seeing it a little differently. You're supporting the space in whatever capacity you can support. Also, like to mention here, when a parent comes, we tell them that what we need is your support, and your
Yeah.
support just doesn't come in financial. Like I mentioned about these two parents, right? We say that is such a big support, and can you support us like that? So you see how you want to. I would want to support by giving this much time, and I would want to give support by giving this much, in this way, helping the space. And financially, I can contribute this much.
So let's talk about Moonlit Hamlets. As you have mentioned, it's a very recent edition, and you are still figuring out how to proceed with it. So could you provide us like with an overview of Moonlit Hamlets, and additionally, how do you recognize its unique significance for children?
So there were two reasons why I thought of starting Moonlit Hamlets. One was a very personal reason, selfish reason. For a long time, I have been taking 20,000 rupees as the contribution from a little grove, because we try to run it as on low cost basis, no? Because it is pay as you wish and parents can contribute whatever they want to. So we try to run it on as low cost as possible. So I thought, what ways can I add to whatever I am earning now that I
Hmm.
also have a kid? So I thought we'll start something in the evenings for children, where
Okay.
where children would come and I would be able to make some additional amount also. The other reason was that a lot of parents have been coming and visiting us and saying that we really love the way you run. We really love your concept. We love the children, the way they are so happy and things. But it's a very difficult step for us to take. We can't take our child out of the school. And so is there something in the evening? We don't want this thing to continue in the evening. Children coming back from school and then again going for tuitions, and then again this whole 24 hours, this rat race, and only thinking about exams and things. But can such a space, can we have something like this in the evening too? So
Hmm.
from that, this idea came that we can start something like this in evening for children, a space of healing, a space where they would be free to explore the way they would want to explore things. It will not be like a tuition. It will be like another home. And they come, for example, a girl comes and says, "Today I don't feel like studying. Today, it was a very hectic day. I just want to sit and talk. Can we talk?" So we talk. Or can we see a movie today? Or can we sit down and sing songs? I really like the song you were singing. Can we learn that together?
Mhm.
So we do that. Or she comes and says, "Today I am very stressed about this homework, and could you please help me with this? Tomorrow we have to do this." So we do that. We work on that. So we together work with children, mainly to make them a little bit more peaceful and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you
And
encountered any challenges regarding funding or finding suitable spaces for the centers?
actually, we never went out for funding. So there were also no challenges.
Okay.
We we thought, let's just try to run it as a community,
Hmm.
not like an organization. So let's try and see, when 9 parents were there, what is it that we can collect from the 9 parents, and then try to
Hmm.
run it uh, with that money. And now that 30 children are there, what we can collect from those 30 children, and let's try to run it with that. So like there are 4 adults who come, and so someone takes 15,000, someone takes 20,000, because of a lot of help which we are getting from our families.
Hmm.
So I can afford to take 20,000 because of the support that I get from my wife. She was my batchmate in IIT, and
Okay.
is Karuna, and she is working with ITC, and she has been a, I don't know what I mean, a great support. She just tells me, yeah, Amit, you keep doing whatever you want to do, and don't worry about money. So we try to run it on low cost, and we thought let's run it as a community only. Let's not. So one of the reason why we thought of running it as low cost and like a community is so that if tomorrow the question of scale, how do you scale this? You are only working with 30 children. So I thought if more people come and visit us and see that, oh, this is such a beautiful center, and we can also do this in our neighborhood. We can also start something like that. I can also start something. So tomorrow somebody should not feel that, oh, it's such a difficult thing to start. Amit is doing this because Amit is from IIT. He has many contacts, and so he's able to raise funds and run this place. But I'll not be able to do that. And how will I get so many contacts? How will I be able to raise funds? So I thought I will not use my degree or my contacts. I will try to run it like so. Basically, my relatives will come and tell me, then what was the point of doing IIT? You could have started this after doing your 10th also. I said that's exactly the point. I could have done
Yeah.
it after I did my 10th. So tomorrow, if there is somebody who comes and says, "Oh, it's a wonderful place, and I would also like to do this," I said, "I'll say, go and do it. No, it's easy. Go do this. I mean, try and gather 2, 3 people who are really interested in spending time with children, and then start something. Maybe in daytime, maybe in the evening, maybe start a small library in the evening for children. Spend some time with them doing things that they want to do."
Yeah. So, where are you? Located, and where are the centers?
This is one center which is in Hyderabad.
Okay.
It's in Sikandrabad area.
All right.
Yes.
And how did you raise awareness about your initiative, and what was the community response, especially that nearby area?
Actually, so we have not done much to raise awareness. The only thing that I have been doing is to try and work as sincerely as possible with the children who are there in the center. And then how has it gone from 9 to 30 children is just word of mouth. Somebody would suggest, somebody
Okay.
would say, why don't you go? For different reasons, children would come to us. Somebody who is looking out for such a space where there is less competition and more openness. There might be somebody who is looking out for such a space, and so somebody recommends, why don't you go and explore this particular space? Someone is not fitting in a school, struggling, and so comes to us for that reason. Somebody is financially struggling and comes to us for that reason. So for different reasons, I think just by word of mouth, people have been coming. And
Okay. So, now coming to your passion, you are very much passionate about wood carving and whittling. So, could you tell us more about these interests, and where did you learn these skills?
see, that's one perk of working with children.
Okay.
That you get to explore so many of your interests. I mean, there are many advantages of working with children. Like I said, even if I would have become a monk, I would have worked with children. One of the reason is that you get to learn so much from them. I mean, what we teach children is so little as compared to what they teach us, how to live life, how to be peaceful, how to be happy for others, how to truly feel happiness for others. And that's something that I had completely forgotten about. I would fake happiness. A lot of time I would fake happiness. I still do. But how to truly feel when happy for someone else. And so many invaluable things that children have taught me. And one of the other thing is this, that you work with children, you get to explore many things. You get to explore theater, you get to explore woodworking. To remain interesting to them, you have to keep learning new things. And I love learning new things. So I learned how to play music. I learned how to make musical instruments. Very recently, learned watercolor painting, and it was also an amazing experience.
So, what's your opinion on that role of handicraft and music in students' life, and how do this contribute to their holistic development?
See, in many different ways, I think working with hands doing something slows you down. It brings a sense of mindfulness and attentiveness and peace. I think that is very important in all of our lives, not just children, doing something. So, for example, there was this person who had done study on some of the people who live very long lives, and he went to this island called Okinawa in Japan. And one of
Hmm.
his findings was that people till the very old age are busy doing something. They're either working with wood, they're doing gardening, they spend a lot of time doing something. And that I think is very important for our children also. There was a very nice saying I had, a story I had read. So this little girl asked her grandmother, how did you have lived a very long life. So you must have encountered many pains and many suffering. And so how did you deal with that? And so grandmother says, well, I did that with my hands. Whenever I tried to do it with my brain, it did not work very well. So whenever I encountered some pain or suffering in my life, I went back to doing my knitting. I went
Hmm.
back to washing my dishes carefully and mindfully. I went back to doing certain things slowly, and that helped me heal. So I think it is these small things that children do with hands, crafts, are not just crafts. It's not just or art or writing poetry for that matter, or
Hmm.
reading
Hmm.
poetry for that matter. These are very, very important things for life. More so, particularly today, when children are surrounded with all sorts of information and gadgets and screens and smartphones today, I think it becomes so much more important that we provide them a space which is away from all that.
Correct. So, for our listeners, how can they get involved or learn more about A Little Grove and Moonlit Hamlets? Are there opportunities for them to visit or participate?
So, see, one of the things that I keep telling everyone is you're more than welcome to come and visit us. You can call anytime and talk and learn more about it. We are not a very big space. It's not that we are doing big things. We are a very small space doing little thing in a corner of a city. But if you find that interesting, please come, make time, and please come and visit us. We'll be more than happy to host you. You can come and stay with one of us. You can spend time seeing the space, talking to children, contributing and learning from.
Yes, exactly. So, over the years, children of various ages must have demonstrated, the how simple living, happiness, forgiveness, and peace are attainable. So, what are your thoughts on the need for such diverse learning spaces where children can actively participate in shaping their educational environments? And also that that do you also think like this kind of diverse learning space into every school should integrate with especially to offer a comprehensive education, potentially aiding in the reform of our educational system from the very earliest stage of learning.
See, I think diversity is very, very important. I mean, you go to an ice cream shop and you get so many flavors.
Hmm.
Then, in education, why is schooling becoming synonymous with education? Why is it that you find whether it's a government school or international school or anything, the structure is more or less the same?
Yeah.
It's all having the same top down approach. Something has been decided by adults and experts sitting somewhere, and then that is being fed into the system, and that goes to the teachers, and then that goes to the children.
Hmm.
Why is that structure the same? Why are we not doing with that? If we love our children, we would do that, right? We
Yeah.
would try to create different kind of spaces. So people ask me, why don't you start many more little groves? I say that
Hmm.
that would defeat the purpose. Many little groves are not needed. uh, Instead of me starting another little grove, if you really liked this space, you go and start another space in your community.
Hmm.
That will be different. It should be different from the space that we are running here. It will have its own flavor of the people who are running that place there. Your space will have your own flavor, your own learnings. Someone else comes and starts, it will be slightly more different space. And I think we should have these small, diverse spaces propping up everywhere. people taking charge, communities taking charge, and not just leaving everything on the education board and people out there. But you take charge. It used to happen in our country a lot, and I think many different parts of the world. But I have heard that this community learning space. One lady I had met a couple of years back, and she told me that when I was small, there was an old lady in our village running similar kind of thing. Children would come and they would flock, and there were these 2 or 3 adults, and they were in our village running exactly. It was that uh, children would come and participate, and they would ask, "What is it that you would want to do today?" So it's not something new. It's been there. In different ways existing. I think we just need to think about it and come up with many more such diverse spaces for our children.
Yeah. As you have rightly mentioned, Amit, communities should start taking, charge of their own well-being. This is very necessary,
And
especially in this 21st century.
and also one a shift from this consumeristic mindset, but another, I think, big shift is required from this competitive mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, we stack together similar age group of children together in a class, and then for next 12 years, all they do is compete with each other. Who's coming first in the class? Who's coming second? And so either I have a superiority complex that I am very good at, or I am in the back of my class. And what about helping each other? What about helping each other? I am helping her learn this better, and you help me learn this better. But if everything will be based only on competition, from where will our children learn how to help each other to make this world a better place?
Yes. So, since this podcast focuses on the contribution of human and organizational behavior in making individuals a valuable resources, so what message would you like to convey to both men and women regarding societal and organizational behavior they engage in, and how these behaviors impact individuals in our society?
A message.
Yeah.
The same message that I would try to give to myself, and that is that at this junction of my life, I think that we all need to learn to love again. So that is something that I would want to tell. I think as we grow up, we forget what it is to love. We think that we love, but we forget what it is to love. If I am sitting with my parents, my mind is somewhere else. I'm thinking about something else. If I'm sitting with my child, I'm not. A lot of times we are not completely present with the person that we are sitting with. We are not completely there. We are somewhere else. A lot of anxieties about future and plans and worries and guilt about past. To try to be completely there with whomever you are, and try to find that love again in your life. I think it is one of the most powerful thing that I have experienced. Yes.
Yes, as you have correctly mentioned, what I can say, people have to be more compassionate towards society. So, with this, I will say don't forget to visit a Little Grow website, link in the description, to buy some handmade products they make. And whatever you buy here will help them to run this beautiful and inspiring community learning space. And also, check out Amit's YouTube channel where he shares music and songs for children.
I also show my one of the carving.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so sorry for interrupting, but I thought we can show this. So in case you visit, you can. This is one small squirrel that
Oh, nice.
we had carved, eating strawberry out of the
Oh,
wood. So in case you come and visit, you can ask us to carve something like that also for you. We would be happy to do that.
yes, of course. And as you have seen that Amit has shown us the most beautiful, handmade thing. So please visit this website to buy some handmade product they make. And with this, I would like to end here by saying that feel truly happy in others' happiness. Bye bye. Take care.